For 10 years, Matt Murdock and Wilson Fisk fought a brutal war for control over the shadows of Hell's Kitchen. That conflict eventually settled into a tense, mutually assured stalemate known as the Truce of 2017. Matt refused to execute Fisk, instead using the criminal acts of Fisk's wife, Vanessa, as leverage to keep the crime boss locked away. The chaos of the blip erased the underworld's hierarchy, leaving a power vacuum that destroyed the rules of the 2017 truce. With half the city's population gone, the remaining criminal syndicates dissolved into a randomized, uncoordinated mess. Following the return of the Vanished, Fisk shifted his focus toward absolute, legitimate systemic control. He realized his criminal empire was a small pond compared to municipal governance, aiming to shape the city's future through policy rather than turf wars. Fisk launched a massive political campaign, successfully transitioning from a convicted crime boss to the legally elected mayor of New York City. To secure this new empire, his wife Vanessa, now acting as the Red Queen of the syndicate, orchestrated the brutal assassination of Matt's law partner and best friend, Foggy Nelson. Matt Murdock dedicated his life to the belief that the courts could protect the innocent. With Foggy dead and Fisk in City Hall, the lawyer trusting the system was rendered obsolete, because the justice system itself was legally weaponized by the man he was fighting. This vector map of New York City highlights the borders of Red Hook, Brooklyn, a free port existing outside U.S. federal oversight. Vanessa Fisk routes massive money laundering through this zone, insulating her criminal hub from FBI oversight. Meanwhile, Mayor Fisk intentionally weakens the standard police force. Violent street crime spikes, manufacturing widespread public panic, and generating consent for extreme municipal crackdowns. He answers that fabricated crime wave by creating the Anti-Vigilante Task Force, or AVTF. This is a heavily armed paramilitary police unit that completely bypasses standard oversight and reports directly to him. Fisk's shock troops engage in targeted, brutal psychological warfare. They appropriate the skull insignia worn by Frank Castle, the Punisher, twisting a symbol of intense personal grief into an emblem for state-sanctioned terror. Fisk weaponized his mayoral authority to dismantle the very idea of a vigilante, institutionalizing a regime where the city's protectors are hunted as enemies of the state. Soggy's murder and the implementation of city-wide martial law push Matt Murdock to his absolute psychological breaking point. Yet, when an assassin takes aim at Mayor Fisk, Matt dives in front of the bullet, saving his greatest enemy's life. He proves his strict refusal to kill holds firm, even as he accepts that the courtroom can no longer provide justice. He abandons his life as a lone rooftop vigilante and retreats to the subterranean basement of Josie's bar to organize a calculated guerrilla resistance. He trades his bright red cowl for tactical, all-black Shadowland armor. Shadowland refers to a 2010 comic book arc where Daredevil takes a more violent, authoritarian stance against crime, a tonal shift Matt is now forced to adopt. Facing an entire army of corrupt police, Matt recruits Jessica Jones. Her superpowered physical strength and deep investigative cynicism provide essential heavy artillery for an outgunned insurgency. To dismantle a corrupt state apparatus, Matt Murdock had to abandon his faith in the law entirely and master the brutal mechanics of underground warfare. Mayor Fisk's extreme municipal control over New York City rapidly elevates Hell's Kitchen from a localized problem into a focal point of global geopolitical interest. Enter Mr. Charles, a CIA-style power broker. He explicitly ties the street-level conflict to the Thunderbolts, a covert international strike team working for the highest levels of global intelligence. At the exact same time, Frank Castle violently escapes from Fisk's task force. This bloody breakout launches his own independent, highly lethal crusade, setting the stage for his upcoming hour-long television special. But the ultimate climax of the Daredevil insurgency spills directly into the events of the upcoming blockbuster film, Spider-Man: Brand New Day. A massive trailer spoiler for the film shows Sheila Rivera, Mayor Fisk's own chief political aide, publicly handing Spider-Man the key to the city. A masked vigilante receiving a highly publicized honor from a key member of the Fisk administration, implies that Matt's underground insurgency succeeds in toppling the anti-vigilante regime. The conflict in Hell's Kitchen has shifted the scale of the MCU, where the most consequential battles are now fought through policy and through guerrilla resistance in the shadows of a corrupted city.